Did you know in the era where everyone's racing for faster 0 to 60 and more horsepower, there's always this one car that never got over 200 horsepower in 34 years. Today, I'm going to tell you about Mazda Miata and the history behind it, and why horsepower was never the biggest part of equation in being fun. Let's get started. Imagine you're in 1989 Chicago Auto Show. Your mind just blown because Honda just created the Ferrari killer called Acura NSX. But it wasn't enough. The JDM car scenes were booming. There was Toyota Supras, RX-7. But Mazda says it's not enough. We're gonna make something traditional and simple. They follow the fill-in formula that's lightweight, convertible, soft-top cars and named it a Miata.
When the car was first introduced, everyone thought that the car will be successful, including those in Mazda themselves. But now we're in 2025. We can prove them that they were wrong 35 years later. Not only that, the way this car was initiated is also very interesting. That initial idea of this car did not come from a business executive or an engineer, but rather from a Motor Trend journalist named Bob. Here's how it worked. He showed the idea to the Mazda, and Mazda hired him and made him responsible for the production of his car. But thanks to Bob Hall, in 1989, of made the car first went on sale for $13,000 in that 1989 money, which is equivalent to $34,000 in modern day. For the money, you didn't get a CD player, an AAC, and a power steering wheel. In the modern days that we're complaining about not having Apple CarPlay, I don't think we're not suffering as much as those back in the day. The car came with 1.6 liter dual overhead cam making 115 horsepower and its manual transmission. The automatic wasn't even offered when it was first released, but now it's 1991. They introduced the automatic transmission, and in 1994 they changed the 1.6 engine to 1.8 liter engine, which is making around 128 horsepower. And later, to fast forward to 1997, they're making 133 horsepower. It was increased about 30% horsepower in around 6-7 years. Now you're in 1997, and the first production of Miata was 8 years ago. So the car is getting pretty old, and it's pretty much due for a refresh or a new generation. As a result, Mazda released their second generation of Miata in Tokyo Auto Show 1997 and named it NB Miata. We lost the pop-up headlights in the way of making the car safer. In NB, the car's more refined, more daily drivable, with more features, and safer. At the time, people thought that pop-up headlights are very dangerous for pedestrians crossing since it have like the pop-up mechanism that could hit the kid's head. But here's my take. I don't think they're as bad as the lifted rim tracks that are driving on the roads right now. Anyways, for NB Miata, it cost $20,000 at launch, which is around $39,000 in modern day money. And for that, you got air conditioning standard, 5-speed manual, 1.8 liter dual overhead cam making around 160 horsepower, and a soft top convertible. I think it's pretty cool. The enthusiasts make this car to be two sub generations called NB1 and NB2. NB2 being released in 2001 with updated headlights, updated body, and updated powertrain. Everything updated like how NA1 was updated. In the NB2 Miata, they also created a really cool car by Mazda's racing division called Mazda Speed, and they call it Mazda Speed Miata. Well, they have to create it, the Mazda Speed at the point. From across the town, right, there was a Honda S2000 thriving. And on the other side, Toyota have an MR2 Spider. Miata have lower power, so they have to put... And S2000 sounds better, let's be real. So they turbocharged it, and it was the only time Miata came with turbo from the factory. By this point, NB Miata is getting really old, and in 2005, Mazda said, let's renew it with the NC Miata. Just like that, in 2005 at the Geneva Motor Show, Mazda revealed their third generation Miata, the NC.
One car, one driver, one feeling.
This wasn't just a new update from NB, this was the whole entire reinvention of Miata. Mazda went heavy on aluminum, the chassis was significantly stiffer, NVH levels were reduced. This was overall better driving car compared to the NB, which leads to the next point that the enthusiasts hated it. Under the hood, the familiar 1.8 liter engine was replaced from the 2.0 liter inline-4 engine. It was really cool because it's making 170 horsepower, and for the first time in the Miata history, they included the factory retractable hardtop. Which added more weight, so the Miata enthusiasts are like, nah. In 2006, a base Mazda Miata will cost around $21,000 in that money, which is around $33,000 in 2026. It was quite crazy because for that price you got a 5-speed manual transmission, a 4-wheel ABS, a keyless entry, a cloth seat, air conditioning, and a CD player as standard. The options include 6-speed manual transmission, built-in shocks, both premium audio system, heated seats, maybe, and the limited slip differential. On paper, it was almost better in every single way. The old NB cannot compare to it. But something hasn't changed. NC has the hardest. It didn't feel like a featherweight Miata like it used to feel anymore. It more became like a luxury car. It felt bigger, softer, less raw, and then the 2008 happened.
People are seeing this, and those memories of fear are coming back.
If you don't know what happened in 2008, the global financial crisis hit. And if you know about Miatas, they're not people's usually first car, maybe second car. Usually they're the people's third car. So if this is not their priority product, you know what people do? They cut it off. Over its lifespan, the NC went through the 3 updates. The NC1, NC2, and NC3. NC1 was from the launch to 2008. And the NC2 was from 2009 to 2012, and the NC3 was from 2013 to 2015. Of all of that, during the NC2, that was the biggest update ever, because NC2 introduced the 7200 RPM engine. It also included a small front grille and the strengthened internals. Yet despite its improvement, the NC became one of the hated, often criticized generations of the Miata. It was caught between the eras of being lightweight and more safety compliant, too refined for the purists, too small for the mainstream buyers. It does not excel in any other ways, but it's such a good middle ground car for a lot of people. Mazda knew they had something to change, so they went back to drawing board. The results would be lighter, simpler, back to the roots, and the ND was born.
Family cruising. Now in the garage, something new reminds you of when you were you.
Following months, it's gonna be going on auto shows such as LA Auto Show and Paris Motor Show. But the car went on sale in 2016. In 2016, this car cost under $25,000. For that price, you got a cloth bucket seats, a 6-speed manual transmission, a soft top convertible that weighs just under 2,300 pounds, a 2.0 liter inline-4 engine with 155 horsepower and 6,800 RPM route line, and a rear-wheel drive and a potential limited slip differential. The ND Miata was such a cool car because the car was not just a redesign or like an upgrade from the NC, it was the whole new invention. The car wasn't designed to be fast or showy, but rather the engineers spent hours and hours of their time learning how human body leans when the car accelerates, corners, and decelerates. The goal was to create the driver feel as they're moving their body themselves instead of driving a car. This is known as the Jinba Itai in Japanese, which is a rider and a horse as a one.
車っていうのは、人間の身体能力を拡大した道具って言いますか、ものって言われてますよね。手足の延長線上にあるもんだっていうふうに思えるような間柄っていうんですか。これが人馬一体の真髄なんです。馬が乗り手の感覚を分かって、今こういう走りをして矢を射るっていうその馬と射手のコミュニケーション、車とドライバーの間にもその関係を作ろうと。なぜそうしたいかっていうと、思い通りに動く楽しさなんです。 最先端の機器で測れば、筋電図も測れば G センサーもあればデータが取れるようになってるわけですよ。例えばね、シフトレバーの位置のここの位置にあるのか、ここの位置にあるのか、ここの位置にあるのかっていうのはみんな筋肉のその働き違うわけですよ。操作のための人間に入る力っていうのが全体バランスしてる必要があるっていうのがね。
The ND Miata have a 3 sub-generation, the ND1, ND2, and ND3. ND1 came from 2016 to 2018, ND2 came from 2019 to 2023, and ND3 came from 2024 to 2026 in Apple North. How to tell if a car is a perfect car? You know, in 2016, Mazda dropped an ND Miata. We're now in 2026 and that car's still going strong. I know the NE's but you can tell if it's a perfect car because it's been 10 years on the same platform with very minimum changes, and then the only change in interior over the years is the bigger screen, and it's still going strong. The ND Miata is such an icon that in 2024 you can get this car for under 40 grand with a hardtop, limited slip differential, rear wheel drive, a handbrake, under 2,500, all that package under 2,500 pounds, and adaptive headlights. This car is just such amazing car. In ND1, the car have 155 horsepower. In ND2 upgrade, they upgraded to the 800 RPM engine, a better transmission, the overall powertrain upgrades, and the power got bumped to 180 horsepower. In ND3, they upgraded to the better steering wheel and the more forgiving, and it's less oversteer wheel. Steery. Overall, the ND was an icon that I think it's the best Miata they ever made. Towards the end, from Mazda's story, here's what I learned. If you keep consistent enough, if you keep doing what you're doing, if you believe in yourself, one day you will find a succeed and you will not have competitors. Look at all the Mazda Miata's competitors. I'm gonna name a few, right? S2000, gone. MR2, gone. And then there's Pontiac Fiero, but Fiero's dual, so we're not gonna talk about it. And then there's some GM version. There's BMW Z3, that's also gone. The Mercedes SLK, it's also gone. If you think about it, if you keep maintaining yourself, if you keep doing what you're doing and believe in yourself and keep improving instead of trying new thing every time, and keep your personality alive, that you will be succeed no matter how more popular your competitors are, how stronger they are, how more powerful they are. All you need to do is and keep maintaining your identity. That's it. Thank you.